Muggle press, Confederate statues as Horcruxes, and a politician making an unbreakable vow.
Thank you. First of all, you know that a story has really penetrated society when you can make references to it and people know what you're talking about. I remember once we hit a bad situation at work, and my boss came in and said to me, "Well, how's it going?" And I looked at her and said, "Toto, we're no longer in Kansas." And she knew immediately what I was referring to. I used to explain my relationship to my older sister by saying, I grew up as Linus to her Lucy, again, and everybody understood. So I became interested in how are Harry Potter things penetrating the culture. Now, by the way, I'm not interested in discussing any of the politics raised in some of the ads I'm going to show you, all right? I'm just interested in the fact that they use Harry Potter stuff. There are two particular things which inspired me to this topic. One is that our friend Louise Freeman has several times talked about how Harry Potter terms are being used in the field of science to name a new species of spider or something like that. Also, the fact that I came across an amazing instance of Harry Potter being used in a totally un-Harry Potter context. Now, this is from an online magazine called Ministry Matters. Obviously, it is a religious magazine. And the author of the article, Justin Coleman, it is necessary to say that he's a Southerner, born and raised, proud of the South, and he's a black man. And he began to struggle with the conflict between those two loyalties and also the presence of the Confederate monuments. So after talking for a while about what a Horcrux is, he said this. Now, by the way, I'm going to end up just reading you a lot of text. This is one thing you're never supposed to do with PowerPoint slides, is have a lot of text. Guess what? We're going to have a lot of text. Horcruxes are often beautiful things, a ring, a goblet, or a necklace, imbued with a dark power and not easily destroyed unless it is destroyed beyond magical repair. It seems to me that the Confederate monuments are the Horcruxes of the Confederacy. The Confederacy put the power of its tortured soul into a beautiful thing, like a monument to fallen soldiers. The cause of the Confederacy still looms large when you think about these monuments. And when I read that, I said, wow! Talk about taking a meaning and making it stick. And I was taken back to my 11th grade when we were reading, I think we were reading The Scarlet Letter, and at some point in there it says, we're looking for a Daniel to tell us what this means. And so we had to stop the class and explain what it meant to look for a Daniel. And somebody said, well, why do they put in those obscure references? Well, the point is, A, they weren't obscure at the time, and B, that's the way you suck in a lot of meaning with just very few words. Moving right along from that, I hit another one that I thought, this is too good to pass up. Grover Norquist and the Unbreakable Vow. Now, those of us who are old enough will know that Grover Norquist has been an anti-tax advocate for years, right? And the headline of this was in the Atlantic in 2012. The Republican operator yields on his famous tax pledge. Will he rise again, or does this spell political death for Americans for tax reform? Come on. In the Harry Potter adventures, Ron tells Harry about the unbreakable vow. By kneeling opposite each other and clasping their right hands, two wizards, that's supposed to be, wizards can make a permanent oath. What happens if you break it then? Asks Harry. You die, says Ron. In Washington, D.C., Grover Norquist has created his own unbreakable vow never to raise taxes, but it turns out to be quite breakable, and the rest of the article goes on to explain that. Moving on, I started to look for other things that are commonly used, and I thought might use. Now, one thing I didn't bother to look for Voldemort, because everybody knows he who must not be named is. It refers to a certain presidential candidate that we don't want to name. He's just the former guy, you know? So I skipped that. I also skipped, by the way, references to Harry Potter celebrities. For instance, particularly when one of the stars has died, we get a zillion stories about them. There was one I was strongly tempted on. I looked up Wingardium Leviosa, the hovering spell. This ended up being linked to Emma Watson and a particular dress she was wearing, because it was kind of curious as to what held the dress up, and they finally decided it was the spell. But moving right along, the marking of Joe Biden. Now, this was in September 23, and the Republicans, some of the Republicans in the House were getting ready to try to impeach Joe Biden, and not all of them were really with it. And so Pamela Paul in the New York Times had this comment on it. Many Republicans in Congress don't buy into this baloney, as we've learned from a series of Washington confessionals, and from several Republicans who have questioned whether their side has the goods or if this is the best use of their time. If Kevin McCarthy, who was leading this effort, announced the impeachment inquiry, you could almost see his wispy soul sucked out Dementor style, joining whatever ghostly remains of Paul Ryan's abandoned integrity still wander the halls of Congress. Now, you can't top a sentence like that. Now, I want to warn you, it's not all fun and games. Nerve agent was used to poison Navalny. That's Alexei Navalny, the Russian activist. The chemical body confers. This is in 2020 in the New York Times, and Navalny talks about that. In an interview posted Monday on a popular Russian YouTube channel, Mr. Navalny struggled to explain what it felt like to be poisoned by Novichok, saying it was like nothing he'd ever experienced. They'd attempted to poison him once. I forget whether it was in Russia or outside Russia, but he got outside of Russia and was able to get treated. Normally, when you're not feeling well, you can assess yourself and figure out what's happening. My heart hurts, my stomach hurts, my leg hurts, or I've got a cold, he told the interviewer, Yuri Dud. But in this case, you can't understand it. He said it was something like being kissed by a Dementor, the ghoulish, soul-sucking monsters from the Harry Potter series. It doesn't hurt, he said, but life escapes you. All right, a meaning has been conveyed. Now, one thing I went and looked up, no. I'm going to make this a little contest. What Harry Potter reference do you think we're going to see? You've got the headline here, 6-year-old girls already have gendered beliefs about intelligence. Any guesses? I got a sherbet lemon for you if you make a good guess. What? Yeah.
End of the Sorcerer's Stone with, brains and not courage.
Not right, but a good guess. These are genuine sherbet lemons. Directly imported from the UK.
Can you read that again?
All right. 6-year-old girls already have gendered beliefs about intelligence. And I'll give you a little bit clue further. The girls conclude that boys can be brilliant, but girls can't. What?
Wizarding chess?
No, but again, a good guess. Give it a try. What? What do you think? No, I can see where you got there, but no, it's not. Okay, that's enough. All right, now the background of this bit of research is they were working on nursery school kids, kindergarten kids, and they had 2 games. They said, this is a game for people who are really smart, and this is a game for people who work hard. Yeah. At the age of 5, girls and boys were equally attracted to both kinds of games, but among those aged 6 or older, the girls were less interested than the boys in the games for smart kids, but not the really hard-working ones. They go from being really enthusiastic to saying, oh, I don't want to play it, it isn't a game for me, says Dr. Bien, the one doing the research. And those who most strongly assimilated the stereotype of male brilliance showed the lowest interest in the smart game. They had already mentally assigned themselves to Hufflepuff instead of Ravenclaw. Now, first of all, I'm going to have to write to the author and explain to us that Ravenclaws aren't done, that Hufflepuffs aren't done. But what I'm also interested in is the fact that both of those, there's no comment here, go see Harry Potter to find out what this means. It is simply assumed immediately you know what this means. The next, all right, this is an easy one. The next one is going to involve houses too. Which house do you think it'll be? What? Slytherin. Slytherin, all right. Have a favorite one.
Actually, I didn't say that first. I don't know if you
Okay, we'll pass on. Slytherin suspect, snake discovered in Goodwill deposit box in Virginia. There's the culprit. A Slytherin suspect was discovered in a donation box at the Goodwill store in Virginia. A bit of parcel tongue and the snake removed. Sheriff's office wrote that the officer was able to remove the snake using his powers of persuasion and a bit of parcel tongue. No one was injured in the incident, and the snake was safely removed back into the wild, the sheriff's office said. Now that was this year, and again, notice it doesn't explain what Slytherin is. It assumes you know it. Now all right, no, I'm not even, there's no way you're going to guess what's coming up here. This is a woman writing about the troubles she has in homeschooling, and occasionally she has tangles with the local school board. I've been a homeschooling family since our daughter, our eldest, started the 3rd grade. With several years' experience under my belt, I was no longer cowed by the thought of teaching my children at home alone. I'd long since quit waking up in the middle of the night in the cold sweat with my brain screaming like a Harry Potter-style howler letter, reminding me that all that stood between my children and certain failure in life was me. So, now, I want to point out something here. Time and again, you find minor points, minor characters being invoked, and you'd never suspect it. I looked up Hogwarts. Guess what I found? The stunning building in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania that looks just like Hogwarts. Hey, how about that? However, I gotta take us down a bit. It turns out this comes from a site. Now you notice it said only in Pennsylvania. That site is called Only in Your State. And when they find a good theme, they try to repeat it in every state. This particular one, they repeated in about 30 or 40 states. Since I won't do them all, I could take all, but since there are at least 3 of us here from Ohio, I thought I'd do this one. The stunning building in Ohio that looks just like Hogwarts. All right, any guesses what it is? Kenyon. Who said Kenyon?
Pierce Hall. The dining room of Pierce Hall. I went to Kenyon.
Kenyon College it is. All right. Moving right along. Sybil Trelawney. That's one I did not expect. I thought maybe they'll have Sybil Trelawney trying to guess the outcome of the next election or something. No, no, no. This is an article written in a column within Medium devoted to data science and mathematical analysis of statistics. And so what they've got, in today's article, I'm going to explain what confidence intervals are, how to calculate them, and how to interpret them, all through the use case of Harry Potter's infamous divination teacher. And you see a picture there of Trelawney. Sybil Trelawney is a witch who can see into the future with 99% educated guesses and 1% true prophecy. Confidence intervals, at least in my opinion, are pretty similar, making educated guesses about entire populations based on a small set of observations. However, instead of crystal balls and tea leaves, our tools are standard deviations and sample means. All right, let's hear it for the statisticians. Now, this one says, Millennium Woods in Bolton, by the way, Bolton's in England, proves to be a magical place like something out of Harry Potter. Now you might think, oh, this is going to be the Forbidden Forest. Well, you're close. Anybody want to make a guess where it is? We're going to see. What? Nope, not there. Good try. All right. The Millennium Woods in Harwood is home to a tree which could have come straight from Harry Potter. So much so, the local residents have named it the Harry Potter Whomping Willow. Now, by the way, I should also tell you, Whomping Willow gets assigned to basically any big tree that's around. I could have done a dozen of these, but we'll skip it. Now, here's a challenging one. In case you don't know, that's a golf putter. As a matter of fact, it's Tiger Woods' golf putter. What is the Harry Potter reference we're going to see? What? Who said Elder Wand? You're absolutely right. There is sports memorabilia. There is rare sports memorabilia. Then there's the Elder Wand. Tiger Woods' uber-famous Scotty Cameron Newport 2 putter, the sleek Titleist blade putter that has been in Tiger's bag for all but one of his 15 major championships, and now it belongs to someone else. He sold it off. I wonder how much you could auction off the Elder Wand for. Okay, now this one is tricky. What is the Harry? Two things. One, what is the Harry Potter reference, and where is this picture coming from? It's from the scene where he makes, where he gets the good luck. All right, it's the Lucky Luck? Yeah, that's all right, that in fact is it. Now, do you have any idea where it came from? Confine myself to English language resources. That doesn't mean to the United States. Mumbai police uses Felix Felicis reference from Harry Potter to highlight the importance of masks. Social media handlers of Mumbai police have got their game right on point, as they never fail to impress the followers with creative posts. In the latest Instagram post, Mumbai police have used Felix Felicis reference from Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince in order to highlight the importance of wearing masks during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Okay, now, guess what Harry Potter reference is coming this? Who said Dobby? Several. Okay. Yeah. Turns out that names from Harry Potter frequently end up being given to pets, and also actually pets up for adoption. Adopt today, meet Dobby, Kalamazoo, Michigan. A 10-year-old dog in the SPCA of southwestern Michigan is looking for a forever home. Dobby is described as a lap dog who's very loving and likes to mind his own business. SPCA Executive Director Katie Timber says, while Dobby may be older dog, it's really important that older animals are adopted too. Now again, I could have done the whole thing with pet names and animals up for adoption, but I'm watching the time and I'm a little concerned about that, so I thought we'd end on this note. Pets of the week. Pets of the week, Hagrid and Buckbeak, 2 roosters. I should have sound effects for the roosters. All right, so conclusions. The Harry Potter novels are giving us a set of shared understandings, which is one of the things literature is supposed to do. Harry Potter is not yet the shared text of our culture, as shown by the fact that in several of these times they had to tell you the Harry Potter this or the Harry Potter that. But it's on its way. I will also speculate that the Harry Potter television series that's coming on HBO, next year? That may work further. Because I noticed that many things in our shared culture are in fact TV or movie lines, such as plastics and how you doing? I can't do that properly. Let's see here. You had me at hello. So maybe someone should redo this thing in 2 or 3 years and see how it's going then. All right, thank you all.